guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I'm so excited to share some ways that I keep The Sims 4 fun and how I play with a legacy. So that's what we're going to get to in this video. We are here in the home of one of the families in my legacy. If you're not familiar with my legacy, that is totally fine. I can, just show them off a little bit here to get you the idea of how long I've been playing with these Sims. So it started out here in this generation, and I think I started it back in like 2014, 2013. I can't even remember, but basically when The Sims 4 came out almost. But yes, this is the legacy that I have here in The Sims 4. I do have actually another side to it too. So there's two sides. But yeah, I've been playing with this legacy for the longest time. I have a bunch of videos on my channel that go back into the older generations and kind of shares how I played those generations years ago. But this is kind of the generation we're on now, and I've been having so much fun expanding their family and sharing it here on my channel. So definitely, if you want to get to know all these Sims more, you can check it all out. I will leave links to the Winchester Legacy as well as different, Let's Plays I've done with them. But that is the main way I've really been enjoying The Sims 4 is through a legacy. And this legacy I have played with for years and years, and so I think that is what has really kept me interested in The Sims 4 for this long. I have been invested in this family and their lives and their story for so long that I really just enjoy creating their story and creating memories for them. And there's a million different ways you can play The Sims 4. There's challenges you can try. There's legacy challenges as well if you really don't know where to start out. I kind of just started with a Sim self legacy. So this is my Sim here, and my husband, he's also my husband in real life. We weren't married at the time, we were just dating, but yeah, and we don't have any kids or anything, so we don't have a big family like this just yet. But starting out with a Sim self legacy definitely got me hooked in the beginning because it was fun to play with these Sims and kind of see what their future was going to look like in the game and all that. But basically my tip for starting out is just have Sims you really like and enjoy, really personalize them. Since these were based off real people, it was a little bit easier to kind of create them. But you don't have to do a Sim self legacy. You can just have any Sims that you really enjoy, spend time creating them, personalize them, kind of think of a backstory if you'd like. But the more in depth you are with your Sims that you start out with, the more you're going to enjoy playing with them. And you can also learn things as they go, and they can change as you play with them as well. So starting out, just kind of have a really good idea of the Sims you're playing with. And I think the way that I play The Sims, or kind of look at it, is I'm creating a story, I'm creating characters, and I'm just like letting them live their lives. And I've always really liked to write, so I think that's why I've always really enjoyed The Sims, is I love to create the characters and their stories. Try to think, what would these characters be doing? How would they think? Why would they make this decision, and how would they react in this situation, kind of thing. So another huge tip I have for how I play is actually like turn aging off or on very, very long, like a long lifespan. So you can do that by going into settings, you go into game options, and then I believe it's gameplay. So yeah, you can turn off aging by selecting no for these options. And then if you do want to have aging on, you could always still set it to long, and you can pause it at any time during your gameplay. Now that I'm so far in my legacy, I keep it just completely off because there's just so many Sims in my legacy. I just want to be there for when they age up or when they pass on. So I kind of do all of that manually in my game at this point, but starting out, you definitely don't have to do that, especially if you're in one household. It's definitely easy to manage the legacy at that point. But one reason I like to play with aging off is because I can really go in depth in celebrating the little moments in my Sims' lives. There's little ways to celebrate the little moments in life that make the game a little bit more meaningful. Like, let's say Aiden came home from school with his first A, and the family wanted to celebrate. Maybe they'd go out to dinner, or maybe they would like take a picture of him or throw a party, or let him stay up a little bit later that night, or even make like his favorite meal for dinner, something like that, that can really just make the moment in the game that you've experienced so many times a little bit more special. Or like even this little craft he just made is kind of a nice thing. Maybe he could put it in his inventory and they can go over to the grandparents' house and like give it as a gift and visit with them for a little bit. So there's definitely little ways you can go out of your way to make the game a little bit more special in those moments that, you know, you've already experienced, you've already seen this little craft made. And another tip I have is to take plenty of pictures. So this household has a lot of pictures on the wall. Oh no, this one got burnt. But yes, so many pictures of when the boys were toddlers and kind of how the family looked at that moment. And then more recent ones of just the past like little Winterfest they had. So yeah, I just love to put pictures in my home. I have a few tutorials on my channel of how I do that, kind of how I take pictures and all that. So I'll try to link those for you guys. Oh, this was a really cute one for the fall photos. We had the whole family together. Here's the grandparents with their grandkids. And it's just adorable. For Andrew's first day of preschool, I did take a picture of him. I wish I'd done that for Aiden too, but I don't think I had the same mod in my game at the time. But yeah, just things like that make the game so much more special. It's a nice little memory to look back on and make their homes feel more lived in. So yeah, here's some wedding photos. These were engagement photos that they took to like announce their wedding. And then I also love just taking little selfies with Sims. So this is Ariel and Aurora when they were like young adults. I don't even think they'd had kids at that point, and they just took a cute little picture together. I really like to do that whenever I have teens or preteens in the house. They can take a bunch of selfies and put it in their room to kind of personalize their room a little bit. But yes, definitely take pictures. It can be a little bit bothersome or take some time, but you know, going that little extra step really makes their home feel so much more special. And then also if you are deciding to play for a long time, you know, once these Sims pass on, it is nice to have pictures of them when they were younger and be able to remember them by. So my biggest tip and the way I love to play the game, and the one that has kept me, you know, enjoying The Sims for so long, especially with the same family for so long. So I love to use expansion packs, game packs, stuff packs, things like that to kind of guide how I play. So if we go back to my legacy, around this time, actually, their third child, Isley, was the first time we had toddlers in the game. So that was so special to be able to experience toddlers with this family as well. Maybe that's another reason I have loved them so much, is we finally got toddlers and it kept me playing the game. That was super fun to play toddlers. Also, Dine Out came out at this time, so I had my Sim have a restaurant for a period of time, and that was super fun. But yeah, and then like City Living came out, so the oldest son, Harley, he moved into an apartment and he did the gaming career, I forget what it was, and his wife did the social media career, so they kind of experienced city life. And then Niall did move to the city as well, so that was another way to experience city living. And then Isley and the parents, they moved to Brindleton Bay when Cats and Dogs came out. They got a dog, and that was super fun to explore that world with them and kind of create their story using that expansion pack. And then kind of just little things here and there, you know, they would take trips to Selva Dorada when that came out. And then when Strangerville came out, I really enjoyed playing that pack with Finn and Reed. Finn was in the military career and Reed was kind of like a scientist or very science oriented. So they moved there and did the whole Strangerville mystery, which I had so much fun with. That same generation, Bentley and Bailey, they're twins and they were Harley's twins, and they moved to Del Sol Valley and did the whole Fame and, you know, Get Famous pack. So exploring new packs with different generations and different Sims has been so much fun. It's kept gameplay so exciting for me. Then I did Snowy Escape with these Sims and also Bentley a little bit. And yeah, I don't know, it's so fun to play that way for me. I do want to say though, I know not everyone buys all the packs, so I'm not saying you have to buy every pack to do this. You can just use the packs you have. Or I also really love to use mods. So if you use mods, that's a great way to kind of do this too. So Atlas, this Sim here, he is a snowboarder and his wife wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Then she eventually wanted to get back to work. So I actually used the daycare mod by It's Potato. And I am playing the daycare mod with her and her two daughters. That keeps things fresh, exciting, brings new content to the game without having to, you know, really spend any money on a new pack. Mods are definitely a great way to do that as well. Like with, you know, this household here, I've been experiencing the preteen mod, also by It's Potato. I've been loving it so much. It's so much fun. But that's a way to have some new gameplay and keep the game fresh and exciting. and kind of get creative with it. Another reason I like to play this way, especially with such a large legacy, is I create all these different households with all these different kinds of gameplay, and so I really never get bored because it's like if I want to play with a typical family like this, I'll just come in, load in here, and play with them. But then if I want something a little bit different, maybe an occult that I haven't played with for a while, or just a different type of gameplay, I can go into any of my other households and play that style. So I'll show you a few of them. So for one of the households, we have Aurora, who is an alien, her husband Deacon, who is also an alien, and then Ayla, their daughter, who is also an alien. So I don't know why they're having an industrial effect here. They're very eco-friendly, so I don't know. Also, my game is doing that glitch where it kind of doesn't show the ground. But yeah, this household is very different than the one we were just in. They're very science-driven. You know, they've got a servo. Aurora is in the engineering career, so that was fun to play that with her. And then Deacon was doing the whole civic designer, and he was trying to, you know, make different inventions, use the fabricator and all that. So they have a little shout out here where they do the robotics and things. So that is definitely one of my biggest tips and takeaway from my video, is that if you do play with a legacy or a big family, it is so fun to have different households with different play styles. So then if you're feeling, okay, I want to play this certain type of gameplay today, you can just jump into their household and kind of do that. But yeah, what I like to do with packs as well is really dive into them and try to play every asset of a pack. So for the eco lifestyle pack, we had Servo always collecting, you know, or dumpster diving, and then would do the recycling, and Deacon would do the career. And then Aurora was like, you know, voting on different things. For Aurora's friend Aspen, she was doing the juice fizzing, which I really wanted to explore that in the pack as well. I do like to explore as much of them as I can with the generation or the household that I'm using, because on the surface, sometimes packs do seem really shallow, but you can be surprised sometimes with how deep they can go in certain areas. So like the robotics, you know, skill from Discovery University is actually pretty in depth, and I really enjoyed creating different robots and getting her to explore that. Also, like the aliens from Get to Work, like there's so much cool stuff there and collectibles that I really enjoyed exploring when I kind of played that pack. Like these little aliens here actually were like dead at one point, but her alien powers, she can like bring them back to life, which was so cool to discover. That was something I probably never would have discovered if I didn't take the time to kind of play that pack. But yeah, I'll show you some more households. This is kind of definitely my more science, alien. We're also going to be doing the Star Wars stuff. I've been exploring that, which has been fun. So then we have Blair, and this is her home in Glimmerbrook, and they are all spellcasters. Also, Percy has done the paranormal pack, which fit really nicely into their lifestyle. But yeah, this is another household, so when I'm feeling like I want to play with like spellcasters or magic or paranormal or any of that stuff, I can come into this house and I have that kind of gameplay available. Also, she does knitting, so that's fun to explore that with her. But yeah, I like this household because it's a little like not as tech oriented, and they just enjoy being together, maybe reading, gardening together, going on a little picnic, playing chess as they are. But yeah, that is my biggest tip, is probably diversify your family or your legacy or your Sims so you can have different kinds of play styles and they never get boring. So this is for my more spellcaster magic paranormal side, and if another pack comes out where we get like werewolves or something like that, that would be fun to try to incorporate into this side of the legacy. Also, I do want to maybe incorporate vampires into them because I haven't really played with vampires in my legacy or in the game really that much at all. And another household I'll show you is Bentley and Dakota's. They are kind of famous. I think Bentley is pretty famous. So yeah, he's a global superstar. They are elders now, so you know they're not in that lifestyle as much anymore, but they do have a really nice home here. And they have their grandson over right now, Benji. But yeah, they have a really beautiful home. They have plenty of money to spend on whatever they need. They can go on vacations all the time. Bentley is, you know, a sim tuber and he loves to travel. Dakota was a Simstagram model and she has plenty of pictures of herself all over the place from when she was younger and, you know, in her prime with her modeling. But yeah, so this was another lifestyle that I gotta kind of explore, and I explored the Get Famous pack. and some of the Snowy Escape Pack with this family. The good thing about it is I'm not too into the celebrity gameplay. I mean, it is fun to explore once or twice and do as much of it as I can, but I don't really play it too often. I do like to have a household available if I feel like it. But yeah, so that's why I think it's so nice to diversify, is if this was my only household I was playing, I would definitely get bored very quickly because it's not my favorite type, but I like to have a household like this in case I do feel like playing this way, or if a new pack comes out that would really fit it nicely. So some other little tips that I use to manage my legacy is I have a big club with the Winchester family, and I've actually broken it up even more now. So we have the Winchester family, but on Harley's side. So this is Harley's family. And then we have the big Winchester family, which is like everyone. I do like to have big events with the whole family, but sometimes that can get a little overwhelming. So it is nice to have smaller groups. But yeah, starting a little family gathering here is super helpful. Just to get them together, I really like them to try to like stay close and in each other's lives. It makes me really happy to see them all together. So that is one way I like to play my legacy, especially because the family is getting so big now. It can be hard for them to all, maintain relationships. So clubs really help with that. But yes, I like to celebrate all the small moments in my game. I also like to really go all out for their weddings if I can, unless they're Sims that aren't really that into it, like Mandy and Atlas. Mandy wasn't really into a big wedding. Atlas isn't really much of a people person either, so they had kind of a small wedding in Mount Como Rebi where they got engaged and spent a lot of time together. And then Inami and Talon actually had more of a traditional Japanese wedding. I mean, I'm not very familiar with it, but I did try to get them dressed in a certain style to look like that, and then had her family there, and it was in Mount Como Rebi at a beautiful lot that I downloaded. So I like to also try to think of how to customize different events for the Sims to match their personality or however. Like Dakota and Bentley had the biggest wedding I think I've ever thrown in The Sims 4 because they were celebrities and it was like, a big deal for them to get married. So we're here at Atlas and Mandy's home. Atlas is the son to Benji, who we were just at their house. But I wanted to come here because I also wanted to show off that, like I said earlier, I do use mods also to kind of guide my gameplay. So using the daycare mod has been super fun to explore that mod and kind of play an active career. So that's what I've been doing with Mandy. She is a very family-oriented sim. She loves being home with her girls, but she also wanted a career, so she runs a daycare. But I also wanted to share another small tip that I like to use when I play my legacy. I do like to try to have the toddlers, children, and teens in my families have friends, and I really try to focus on that because I think it's so special for them to have friends. So building relationships with Sims outside of the family is a priority for me a lot of the times because yeah, if we ever do get like a generations pack where we get like a prom or a dance or things like that, then they can make memories and go to the dance together or graduate together, or however. Like Dawn here has Rue. She met her at the daycare and they're really good friends. So hopefully they can be friends, for their whole life. Or maybe they won't. Maybe Dawn and Rue will have a falling out. Maybe Dawn will make new friends. So it just opens up some more like ideas for a different kind of story. I think that's most of the tips I can think of. If I think of more, I'll try to do like a part 2 or another video on them. But these are the main ones that I really like to use. I love to have different households with different play types, so I can just go in anytime I want to play with spellcasters, anytime I want to play with celebrities. I can just jump in and do that. And I like to use expansion packs and game packs to really like drive my gameplay. Or even mods, something that's not as expensive as a pack. A mod can really help like develop some gameplay, develop the Sims, and definitely playing with a legacy is the #1 way I keep my game fun and exciting because I've grown so attached to these Sims that they almost feel real sometimes. So it just makes it so much more fun to enjoy the small things in the game. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this and got some ideas for your game. Definitely leave your ideas down below. I love to learn from you guys too. You all have some really awesome ideas of how you keep the game fun and exciting. But if you guys did enjoy this, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It means so much to me. And of course, leave a comment down below. I love to read and respond to you guys. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye!